Hello everyone, yes, this is how it all began. In 1996, this is Formula 1. Okay, I'm just going to do a standard F1 97 race here, which is 20%. Just going through the option menus, just look at it, look. We're going to stick with dry weather, we're going to put the tyre wear on, damage on as well, boost, I'm not quite sure what that is. Could be catch up, but anyway, we'll leave the length at 20%, is it? We're going to increase it to 20%? We'll leave it at 10. No, we're going to increase it to 20%. There you go. Now, so let's go through the menus and see how we do. Yeah, single race. And they're going to put it on medium, I do believe. Because it's been a long time since I played this game. Full grid lineup. Now look at the drivers and teams. We've got Michael Schumacher in the Benetton. We've got Simtek Ford. Wow. We got the 40 Ford. And these are all the lower teams before Minardi. We got the Pacific Ford. There he is. There's the Minardi. And we've got the Footwork Hart. And the Tyrrell Yamaha. And the Sauber Ford. And the Jordan Peugeot, the famous team colours there, and the Ligier Mugen Honda. Now there's a name from the past. And of course we've got the McLaren. Now of course there was a driver in this game who we may be familiar with. Yes, that's right, it's Mr. Mansell, who unfortunately could only do a few of the races because the car wasn't quite small enough for him. Now, to be fair to Nigel, he'd been out doing Indy cars for a few years, and because of the enormous pressures required to go around the Indy circuit, you build up a lot of muscle, and basically he was really bulked out, and unfortunately he was too big for the McLaren. So for the first couple of races they had to get someone else in while Nigel went on the diet. Anyway, so yes, the race has started. I started from the back, didn't bother with the qualifying, so I'm in 22nd position, something like that. Okay, so how does this game feel after all these years? Don't forget this game was first released in September the 1st, 1996. Well, I've already made it up to 20 position, which is not surprising considering I've got 40 Fords and Saubers and Tyrrells in front of me. Not a very fast competition. Don't forget, in these days, up to 32, yes, you heard it right, up to 32 cars could be competing in the championship. Now, by the time of 1995, it had been whittled down a bit to about 26 drivers, I do believe. But in the years before that, yes, there were lower teams competing just to get a chance to get into the race, and a lot of times they didn't actually make it. So there you go, there's a little blast from the past for you. So Nigel's made it up to 17th position as we go past the helicopter at the Silverstone circuit, now up into 16th position. So while we're going round, as we accelerate forward now of course the one problem with this game is that there's no actual lap counter, so you can't see how many laps left you've got. I think when it gets down to the last 3 laps it does actually tell you on screen, but oh, that's a bit nasty from the is that the Sauber there? I'm very confused at this time of the day to actually what liveries these cars are, but I think that's a Sauber anyway. And as you can see, the enormous power of the graphical engine, and look at that, Nigel Mansell has knocked the Sauber's rear wing off. Now I do believe that you couldn't actually do that in F1 97. I may be wrong, but I don't think you could actually knock off the whole of the rear wing. Anyway, at the moment Nigel has made it up into 12th position. So while he's going round, let me tell you about the game. Formula 1 is the first racing game in Sony's Formula 1 series. Unlike later games in the series, this game's cover has no specific driver on it, except for the North American version, which features an image of Michael Schumacher driving for the Benetton team during the latter portion of the 1991 Formula 1 season. Published by Psygnosis, Formula 1 is based on the 1995 Formula 1 season. although it was released in 1996. It is distinct from its sequels because it was made after the end of the season, meaning that it features driver substitutes. The game also allows two players to compete against each other, either head-to-head or with other computer cars via the link cable. Both players may then compete over a 17-race championship season. Wow, those were the days. And oh, I'm just looking back at the screen here after reading off Wikipedia, and Mr. Nigel's lost his front wing. Now, what was the effect of losing the front wing in F1 95, as it should be called, but it's just called Formula 1? Well, not a lot actually. There's a slight bit of more understeer, but apart from that, not a lot of what you would call uncontrollable behaviour. But it is bad enough for us to have to come into the pits to make a pit stop, and that's quite a shame actually, because Nigel has got up to 10th place at the moment. So he's going to have to come into the pits now, and yes, the pit stop also is different from F1 97 in the fact that you can actually delegate what repairs you actually want to do, whereas in F1 97 the whole process was automatic and it just automatically repaired all the wings and the damage and whatever else was wrong with the car. But in this one you can delegate to your mechanics. So we're coming around now into the pit lane. Oh look, there's a Benetton in front of us. Now as you can see there, I've just whacked straight into another car. That was one of the oh, where am I going now? Oh yes, of course, this is the old Silverstone circuit with that squiggly bit. I've completely forgotten. Now I've lost my track. What am I talking about? Stop waffling, Dave. Oh yes, now we come in. Oh my god, and he's even in F1 95 I can still do a limitless. And I've crashed into the pit wall, but it's not my fault because there's very little wing on the car. So anyway, so we come in now for our delegation of repairs we want. We want the front wing done, obviously, yes, because there is no front wing. And the rear wing has got quite a bit of damage, so we're going to do that as well. And of course new tyres as well. Now this is going to... oh look, you can just see the front wing go on. Now this is going to be a fantastic pit stop time. Look, 20 seconds. Wow. I'm actually going through the menu because I'm thinking, am I supposed to be pressing more buttons? But no, that's how long it took in 95 to get yourself a new front wing. 25.2 seconds. What a fantastic pit stop. So he has now got down to 24th position, which I do believe for Mr. Mansell is in last place. Anyway, so Michael Schumacher, who of course was dominant in 1995, is currently in the lead. We've just accelerated forward. I would like to say what lap it is, but I can't because, as I've said before, it doesn't actually tell you. But as you can see through the acceleration of editing, Nigel has got up to 12th position. So not bad at all from Mr. Nigel. So as I've said, some of the problems with this game, well, if you've ever played it you will know that it has got quite a few bugs in it. One of them of course is that your teammate, if you're doing a World Championship, decides that, oh, we're getting very close to that, Benetton decides that he needs to come in every single lap in Championship mode, and oh my goodness gracious me, Mansell's knocked his wing off again. Oh dear. We're going to have to, and again I thought the pit lane was there, but it wasn't because we've got an extra squiggly bit. So now Mansell is coming in for another wing change. Oh dear, it's all going wrong in 1995 for Mr. Mansell. Yes, I may finally get to the point I was trying to say earlier. Oh yes, it's got quite a few bugs in it, which means that your teammate actually pits every single lap during a championship. And unfortunately, because this game is on a CD, there was no such thing as getting a patch for it, and they didn't actually update it, so the game continued with that bug throughout all of its lifetime. So Mr. Mansell comes out of the pits now, and he's in the fantastic position of 23rd. Oh no, hang on, now it's 24th, he's now last. So what do we think of the game after all these years? Well, without this game there would be no F1 2015, which is coming out in June, it has to be said. and even after all these years it's still a very fun and a very playable game. But of course the time has moved on now, and it is starting to look fairly dated. As we just look in the rearview mirror there, you can see that the McLaren had that double rear wing in 1995. So anyway, we've made it up to 17th position. I don't think we're going to get much higher than that because it's almost the end of the race. As we come through now, I think it's the last lap because, as I've said, it doesn't actually tell you. But we're going to come through now, and oh, that's a footwork heart. I do remember. Oh look, and I've completely missed that again because I didn't think that was the part of the track. That was a footwork heart. I do remember that one. Is this the last lap? Yes, it is. So there you go. Mr. Mansell crosses the line in 16th position. So there you go. There it is. F1, or should I say just Formula 1, but it should be F1 95. This is how it all started. On the PlayStation, yes! As we just look at our replay here of Mr. Mansell, as you can see, he's already taken out a 40, and oh dear, what's going on here? He's gone straight into the wall, and oh dear, he's gone straight into the wall again. Now, I'm sure that didn't actually happen when I was driving the car. Yes, there is also a slight bug sometimes with the replays when your car just sits there spinning around like a top, even though I know I was going around doing that race properly. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching everyone. This has been a special look at the original F1 game, Formula 1.